not just the dollar that determines, also in terms of content buying, what's they are buying on the market and all that. So produce maybe just content for a month. These other months, they start struggling. If I can give examples of what we watch on DSTV, the Zuba, the
local,
yes, we saw how they started struggling until maybe after upskilling them, training them by DSTV itself, and pumping in more money. We've seen also security guard. People cried to say we've got a lot of talent. They put all the comedians together to come up with security guard. So initially when they started, it was making a lot of sense, but obviously they've run out of most of ideas. We've also got Land Ready. That one is something. So today we're looking at the issue that is trending regarding the DSTV, the reduction of price. The dollar has gone down and people are pressurizing them that they should reduce the price. We've seen every time they increase, they cite the dollar has gone up and all that. So that's what we're going to look at. And what is your view?
You see, it's very interesting. Very interesting, by the way. How's been your week and stuff like that? So
my week has been okay. So you didn't even
it didn't even greet you, but anyway,
especially that we greeted before the set. My week has been.
I just wanted to greet you on set.
I was in Chipata. I came back from Chipata. I also had to travel to the Copper Belt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it has been a busy week. It was combined both work and also family business.
No, it's good when people are traveling and doing things like that, especially people of this age group, meaning people are being productive and they're contributing to the growth of the economy.
So how was your week? How has been your week?
My week has been okay. I can't complain much. It's been a bit of activity here and there, but it's been okay. We can't complain much. We're pushing for one or two few things, but it's been okay. We can't complain. And coming to the thing that you're talking about, you see, this is a very interesting story, and I actually followed it very keenly. When you think about it, like DSTV has been in this country for a very long time. I can't really tell how long it has been, but it's been around for a very long time. The eminent time, So we've been with DSTV in this country for a long time, but I think it's time also DSTV begin to get feedback from its client. It's not just about milking the cow. It's also the issue of making sure to say the cow is healthy, and where you need to reduce in terms of milking, you reduce. You are not going to just be milking every time because it's benefiting you. I was watching the Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Information? Ministry of Information, something like that, So where he says DSTV needs to reduce because every time they are increasing the rates, actually, they cite the exchange rate as is the one that is influencing the increment. But when you think about it, now that the dollar is going down, now that the exchange rate is favoring the local currency, kwacha. So I'm of the view, I do not know your view, I'm of the view to say they have no choice at this particular time. They just need to reduce on this issue of the tariffs.
You
call them the tariffs or the
subscription.
We've
seen a lot of big players have commented. We've seen politicians have given that view as well. We've seen a lot of institutions that have also commented to say, the dollar is going down. Can we start reaping this benefit? And one of it is pay TV should at least reduce, looking at every time they increase, they cite the increment of the dollar and all that. So there was a response from them to say it's not only dependent on the dollar. There are a lot of other cost of production that is at play. So yeah.
But why is that if other costs involved in the production cost? But why is that every time there's a change, there's a change, maybe the kwacha is depreciating and you always cite saying, no, we cannot do this because we're affected by the international maybe exchange rate or something. Why is it that? What's the case? But this time it's going down. You know, this issue of it's not only about DSTV. Allow me to divert a little bit.
Yeah.
This issue of in this country, I do not know. I don't know if there are politics involved, but at this particular time, I don't want to look at politics. There's an issue of even bus fares when fuel goes up, and it's not only DSTV. There are many other aspects like there'll be those situations where the prices go up and people are citing to say no because of the exchange rate is affecting this. Yeah. But when the exchange rate begins to improve and people begin to look at it, people don't want to go down. Do we have institutions that are not working correctly? For me, I think that is where it's not about DSTV, it's about institutions. Do we have institutions? Do we have policies that are strong enough to protect the consumers in this country? What do you call them? This is the CCP, consumer protection and the rest. I think this is a point where they need to move in and say, okay, what is the framework of how prices are actually framed in this country?
Yeah, I think those institutions need to look at that fact as they are protecting us as customers and consumers. Yeah. Well, I saw a statement. They released a statement that is trending also. They issued their later to DSTV.
Yeah.
So it was quite lengthy. I didn't go in details, and also IBM.
Is it because someone had written to them? That's when they reacted.
No,
This is the part where I think I have a problem with certain institutions that we have. Those institutions are there to benefit the citizens.
Yes.
We do not need someone to move in or to write to them as a complaint.
They are not proactive.
They are not proactive. They are reactive.
Social media to tell them.
So if we didn't have social media, like the influence that social media has now, it means we're not going to have these things done.
Yeah.
It is this thing I have heard about something to do with the disciplinary committee or something. It's the one that is actually even bringing this whole thing where people come together on social media and begin to influence a certain decision. Yeah. We have do we have policies? I do not know on that one, but we have policies that are going to protect you and me as a consumer. Yeah. Because the person doing business, they are there to make profits, and yes, they are there to offer a service, but is the service they are offering equivalent to the money that I am paying? Yeah. And if I am paying that money for that service, what happens if my money begins to gain value?
Yeah.
What happens then?
We've also seen a situation in terms of dollar rate fluctuating. We see some companies that pay in dollars and some rental properties that are charged in dollars. So when there's that fluctuation, what should be done in that regard? Do you reduce the salary maintain the kwacha?
You see, there's something very interesting. It's unfortunately everything that we do, whether we like it or not, revolves around politics.
Yeah.
You see, there was a time in the time of Mwanawasa where Mwanawasa issued an instruction. I don't know if it's policy. I'm not sure about that. But the president then issued an instruction. No one in this country should quote anything in any foreign currency. No one should quote anything in dollar. Everything should be in kwacha.
Yeah.
But we have these situations where people, I don't know, the big people and big business guys, where they can dictate when and how to. I think I've seen there was a time where someone wanted to rent up a shop. Even these shops that we see owned by foreigners,
in
shopping malls, they charge per square meter in dollars. They'll say per square meter is these dollars. So they will calculate a space.
Apartments in Lusaka now
are charging in dollars. Are we saying now we are actually abandoning our currency, kwacha? Because if you're going to go to America and you tell them, no, I'm going to give you my my rentals in kwacha, definitely they will check you out. They will not even entertain you even once. But why is that we are entertaining things
They will
like
entertain because it will be cheaper.
no.
obviously.
At the end of it, or it is cumbersome for them to, that thing.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
when you go to Rome,
Information.
do what the Romans do. That's what that saying says. You get the point where, like, when you are in Zambia, you're going to do the Zambian thing. You're going to go by the Zambian laws. You cannot be saying, no, the dollar. At the end of it all. Because these guys are saying, if we talk about the same DSTV, they're saying, no, whatever we need to do, whatever they need for their production and transmission, everything is going to be quoted in dollar, and they want to quote that. But if the dollar is going to go down, okay, and that exchange rate is actually favorable for us, we need to feel the impact.
Yeah.
When the exchange rate is actually favoring the other side, it's them that actually feel the impact. So right now they are making huge profits. They are making huge profits because now that difference is literally unaccountable.
Yeah, and one of the things that I liked about the people commenting on social media, they said, after all, you buy this content in bulk. And obviously, we've seen a lot of repeats in these stations where from maybe 2012 to say a lot of content is repeated.
Yes, I've seen something that someone was saying. I don't know if you've seen that. Someone was saying, I think we need to be paying pay-view. I don't know if it was official coming from DSTV.
I know it's people pushing that we should be paying per-view instead of combining a per bouquet like it is. Yeah, you remember Kwense TV. Kwense TV. Yeah, came with that pricing model where you only pay the
What
channel. Yeah, that
because
you want,
I'll give you an example. You stay,
combine
you, your wife and kids, maybe 3 of them. So you find to say you spend most of the time at work.
Yeah.
Your wife spends most of the time at work, and the kids spend also their time almost the whole day out in school. When you come back, it's the issue of preparing or having to have a meal as a family. Your kids have got homework to do, and they need to go and sleep a bit of early. Then you have other engagements, could be work or side hustle, so you don't have that time to sit there. So the only time you get to watch TV is when you are going to have maybe 2 hours in a day, but you'd have paid, let's assume pay-view or of a day, it's going to be like 150, but you've just paid about, you've just viewed maybe 5 kwacha. So you are losing out a lot of money at this particular time. It's like, I'll give you an example of...
And apart from what you've mentioned, also the channels, you'd find if the kids are at home during holiday time, they will maintain the cartoon. Maybe it's not all the cartoon networks that they were going to watch. Maybe if they like Disney or whatever, they will stick to that one. So these other channels are unattended to. Then you'd find nowadays there's the Zambezi Magic, Zuba, and Impali for women, and Ziwell too. These other ones are unattended to. So I think that is the push also to say, can I pick also the channels to make a bouquet that will be beneficial to me?
And how much?
And then how much time per view, obviously. Yeah, I think that one is going to be more cost effective, beneficial actually to consumers. But I don't know to the company as DSTV is. Obviously, there will be a lot of reduction in terms of revenue. So.
Yes. So you see what is happening now as a business. I'm looking at it from this angle. It's a situation where you know what you expect every month.
Yeah.
So if you're going to reduce, meaning your revenue collection is going to go down. Yeah. And no one in this world, no business would want to do that. So it's not the issue of what determines pricing. No, it's the issue of it means they need to lay down some people. Okay, it means they need to cut down on certain expenses, and that is the thing that these guys, they are not ready to do.
Yeah, so another thing in terms of cost of production, I was interacting with someone who works there. Yeah, it's not just the dollar that determines, also in terms of content buying, what's they are buying on the market and all that. And then also in terms of upskilling the local content producers. So someone mentioned to me to say, in as much as you think there is a lot of talent in Zambia, we've tried to give contracts to these media houses. They would produce maybe just content for a month. These other months, they start struggling. If I can give examples of what we watch on DSTV, the Zuba, the
local,
Yes, we saw how they started struggling until maybe after upskilling them, training them by DSTV itself, and pumping in more money. We've seen also security guard. People cried to say we've got a lot of talent. They put all the comedians together to come up with security guard. What we are watching now is something else. Well, initially when they started, it was making a lot of sense, but obviously they've run out of most of ideas. We've also got Land Ready. That one is something.
But where's the issue of is it because we are not going to the people that can do that? We are not scouting for people that can write content, because we need people that the people that have got the skill, the ability, and those that have learned the skill of writing books. This content of these programs could be these series you are talking about. This is a skill that someone would have learned over a period of time, and especially those that have learned a skill of writing books. It's like you just begin to tell a story. There's so much we can do in this country in terms of producing. So DSTV cannot use that. You see, in the old times, we used to have those times where like we sit around as a family, and you've got these stories. It was year in, year out. Stories never ended. And the story will go for more than an hour. And if we were to put that thing in content and in terms of putting it on TV.
Still have a lot of storytellers and writers.
Because you guys now that are taking up your parentage.
The old books that we used to, the beautiful ones are not yet born.
Yes.
Things fall apart. Zambian writers, which ones do I remember? We've also got a lot of writing from... visit the Musakanyas, Kakwepwes in politics. And
so all that sometimes we just need to get those books, read them, and create that content into visual content from the text. So that is content that we're looking about. We're looking at people that are going to be creative, because the content that we put on TV is actually something that needs to come from deep certain sources, and something that is going to take for a long time. How long has been is Igoli still there?
So those are some of the examples he was giving. So let me calculate what he was calculating.
Okay.
So we've got about 24 hours in a day.
Okay.
Yes, and then how many hours do we have in a day? So 24 times 100 and what? So he was mentioning to say one movie goes, the max is 45, 1 hour, somewhere there.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, or a show is somewhere like 30 minutes, 1 hour. So you can imagine,
need to, production needs to be like on everyday basis, and it needs to be ahead.
That's why you've seen they can't do away with Nigerian channels. Nigerians have got a lot of media houses, and they produce content. So he was mentioning to say Hollywood is the number one producer. They produce about 1 million content per month. Then second by Nollywood, Nigeria. So you can 1 million times that is 1 hour.
Okay,
say 1 hour.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense. But you see, even when we are talking about that,
Hollywood can't sustain the full pay TV. You can imagine now if they were to source locally.
It is not only locally. There's a lot of talent that DSTV can tap in. This is a part where now you can get certain content. The Zambian content can be showing somewhere else. Okay, there's Zimbabwean content can be showing in Zambia as well. So it's like you've got shared space. So when we are talking of that, for me, I think I also want to bring in another idea when we talk of DSTV. DSTV is acting like this because they've monopolized They've monopolized this TV thing, you know, because this is the time now when movie TV, when ZNBC, especially ZNBC, this is the time when they need to scale up thing. Because I can give you an example. Today, DSTV will lose market if ZNBC can just begin to buy the same content that DSTV is buying somewhere else. These channels, cartoon channels, and this soccer thing where we're watching football on ZNBC. Because now ZNBC, the quality is good. I want to believe so. Because they've got... No, I'm not talking about what they produce. No, I'm not talking about what they produce. I'm talking of if they buy the rights to show, like the games. It's business.
ZNBC has partnered with Topstar, the Chinese, so I think they are satellites and everything.
I don't want to talk about Topstar because I've got a very bad... I don't have good words for them,
So
and I don't want to go
you
politics.
can't talk about...
No, you cannot be...
You can subtracting Topstar, because ZNBC is leveraging on Topstar technology. So it's like we use the decoders of Topstar and these other bouquets.
You can partner with them. You can partner with them on the technical aspect for them to do the transmission and other things. Yes, you can do that. But the content, they do not dictate the content. If that is a bad deal, it's a deal. You can usually come out of the deal. If we make a business deal today and it's not working for me, I've got a right to come out of that deal. So for me, you can imagine we have ZNBC actually showing football. Okay, we've got ZNBC showing, has got a lot of cartoons, because most people it's just football, cartoons, and maybe Zuba is a Zambian thing. You can get it. You get the point.
No, that one is exclusive DSTV.
It's exclusive DSTV, but what I'm trying to put across is if the people that are doing it and they produce that, or the people, the actors that are there, Zambian. Meaning we have Zambians that can act the same thing and with the same quality, and all we need is just, especially national television stations, to begin to invest into that. This is an opportunity. Because all you need to do is begin to compete with DSTV. But who is it that within this region is competing with DSTV? And this issue of, sorry to put it this way, this issue of every time there's a competitor that comes, you want to like push them because you do not want. And I want to believe DSTV does that to some point. Underground. I am that one. I'm speculating. I do not want to say I am speculating, but we have seen situation. I'll give you an example of Vodafone.
Yeah.
When Vodafone wanted to come, it struggled until they just left this country, and it has been like that for a very long time. Vodafone has always tried and wanted to penetrate the market here in this country, but they have failed. Why? There's always an underhand that prevents them, because somehow it will take away the market of some people, and they know to say these guys, when they come, they are better in most ways, in most areas than.
So what also there you are right. I think Voda was only given the data bundle segment, and these are mobile that are flourishing. They are leveraging on the mobile money aspect. I think if it was purely on data and what talk time, they could have gone.
Yeah,
so I think it was difficult for Voda to.
So the issue of DSTV, these guys have come to do business in this country. Okay, it is us now to determine. Either we protest as citizens and telling them to say, you know what, we're not going to pay, but not in this nation. Not in this nation, because the problem that is there,
social media is moving a wave that is suggesting.
I am actually following that. I have seen some people trying to get those DSTV the decoders, breaking them and throwing away the.
Going to the movie TV bouquet. We need to get numbers.
No, it is. I am not decampaigning anybody, but it is time we move in as a country. We begin to promote local. I was reading a certain book that promoted local, and this person was talking about talked about how Dubai became what it is. They put a very deliberate policy that says no monies should leave the country before it is exchanged. If I'm not sure, it should be between 6 and 10 times.
Within
yes. But here in this country, money can be produced, and before you know it, it is leaving the country.
So it is a situation where if you buy local, its money is going to be changed within and local. You understand? And if you're going to do that, meaning you're promoting business. But if I'm going to give you money and the next time money is going out of the country, meaning that money is not benefiting, it's time we begin to to buy local. It's time we begin to promote local. At this particular time, I'm a very on that one, I would say I can become one of the advocates that would say buy local, because at this particular time, it is time also with these local TV stations begin to produce content that is thin. Yeah. There used to be times when movie TV everyone was glued to movie TV. Like DSTV at that particular time, movie TV was competing with DSTV. You find to say we had issues like we had Banja, those series. We had even a Bikilon issue.
Mwinemushi was also
Mwinemushi also. Yeah. The people, the likes of Venekasaka, the likes of this guy Kabova.
You know, forgotten about.
Yeah, Augustine Longo. No, I don't forget that, because that guy really put movie TV where it is.
Yes.
He brought the likes of Kabova. I think there's so many guys that he brought on TV.
Yes.
We had, if you remember, some time back.
Red Bag was also produced by movie TV. That Red Bag.
I'm not sure about.
Then The Lawyer also it premiered.
Yes, The Lawyer.
Yes.
That is the time when you remember Kantongo. Yeah. So Augustine Lungu really had vision for media in terms of TV.
Yeah.
So it had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I think The Lawyer was the last one he did, and he really supervised to reach to where it was.
Yeah.
It's the one I think we even started also Mushara.
Oh yeah.
I think was one of the people that Mushara also didn't take. It just aired. I think it was even in the cinema. You know, local content needs to start also be showing in cinemas, like Stakenko or Fresh View. We need to reach a point where people can go and watch a local movie. You understand? So when we begin to reach at that level, but anyway, we have not reached that level. We see how maybe we sell.
So as we conclude on this topic, for me, my encouragement would be for us Zambians in terms of we need to be proactive to make sure that our money is also beneficial in terms of what we are purchasing and what we're buying. Then in terms of also us as Zambians to also chip in that industry in terms of producing content. Companies buy in bulk. Yeah. So you can't have 2 scripts or some, even this show of ours, Kutika, we shouldn't just think, when we go on DSTV, our ideas will be consistent and flowing as it be. They want in bulk and to sustain maybe for a year. So they don't need you to lag behind, to maybe fail to deliver as it is. So we've got a lot of media houses that are failing to deliver on time and the quantity and the quality that is needed. Not just movies, also these ShopRite and all that outgrower schemes, the chickens and everything. If we solely depend on Zambians, there's a bit of maybe failing to produce the quality and the quantity on time.
So in short, we are failing to produce what we consume.
We need to be we do produce, but the consistency of the quality.
No, we are failing to meet the demand.
Yes, and the quality and the quantity and the consistency. That is
I think
what
quantity is not really a problem, but quality.
Quantity is a big issue.
Okay.
Yes. So these big companies, when they buy, so if they were to buy a show, they will look at, are you going to sustain that show for a year? So they will look at the 6 months you've got for 6 months. They start, putting it to the audience. They expect the other 6 months for you not to delay and to lag behind. So even in terms of chicken, vegetables, we have a situation where these chain stores, they want to buy what a particular store has got in Mnalimo, the arcades, and everyone should have that particular one. Even
you are right when you say I talked to a certain guy. Who's he's some managers in ShopRite. I was asking him, like, why don't you give local farmers to supply you?
Yeah.
And he told me something to say, the challenge we have with local suppliers, especially to people where maybe they're starting a business, we'll give them an order and tell them you need to produce this amount of things. It's either they don't have the financial capacity to produce that, or they will start. But the problem that is there is when you go to ShopRite, you expect to find potatoes.
Yes.
You don't care who is giving them and or just say like ShopRite, banasira ShopRite. Kulibena potato.
Yes.
And you can imagine if from potatoes you want to see or you want to buy oranges, you find there's nothing. And this is the reason why he says we don't want to have a break in supply chain.
Yeah.
So would rather go to a person, even if they are foreigners or they're supplying from outside the country. We look at the capacity. Do you have this? And I think that has been the major problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, DSTV needs to consider the voice of people. We are their employers.
Yes.
We are their employers.
The customer is always right.
Yes, the customer is always right. They should learn something from the bank.
Yeah.
No matter how foolish a person would act in the bank, especially those that this one is our client.
Mm-hmm.
The bank will just act nicely, treat them, no sir, we're sorry can you come sit here? This is what they need to do. The customer is always right. So sit down and find a way, not arrogantly saying, no, we can't do this, or because of this and that. Find a way, even if you reduce even just for a short, it should be 2 kwacha, 3 kwacha. People will appreciate to say you've got a listening ear.